Okay, so we should be live now.
Rock and roll. You know, it'd be great if we had some of your music playing.
Oh yeah.
That would be
Pretty
awesome.
cool. I can sing, I guess.
That's
Oh,
it. Let's do it.
the background music. Go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Acapulco. Go ahead.
Acapulco, is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
Acapulco.
Go ahead. Acapella.
All right. So, how's everything? Everything good, Keisha?
Yeah, I can see us on Facebook. We're good to go.
Okay.
Let me check YouTube.
I'm gonna check comments. I'm gonna put everything out. Are you outside,
Oh,
James? Are
No,
you
I'm
outside?
not.
Okay. He's got a little light in the corner over there. I'm like, it looks like you're outside for that little light that's out there.
no. You know what? I bet YouTube probably won't play until it's actually 8:45.
Mm.
That's already
Yeah,
scheduled. Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah, it's not coming up.
that's okay.
Oh, Ben just sent us a heart. Benjamin.
Aww,
What's
Oh,
up?
that's so sweet.
we love you too, Ben.
That's awesome.
All right, so I'm going to keep. So I got the comments. I'll be looking at comments. We can all look at comments.
All right, I'm gonna share it on my Facebook page too. Let me go to the event as well.
Okay.
Danielle, where are you at?
In mi casa.
Oh, it looks beautiful. Yeah,
See the,
plants.
I got my fancy plants and fancy plants. See, they're
Yeah.
real.
They're real?
Oh yeah. This is not real. Well, no, that's not real either. I forgot about that's not real. I killed it. I killed the one that's that was supposed to be real. It's not real. Got my German Shepherd puppy. You remember my German Shepherd, right?
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah. So she's bugging mommy right now. So yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. How's your baby? How's your new puppy?
He's doing so good. He's still just a puppy.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to train him and take him to places and stuff like that, but he's like up people's butts.
That's
I'm always like, I'm so sorry. Yeah, he's just trying to smell, and he's not perfect. He's not perfect yet, but we're getting there.
hey, a
That's
little
funny.
bit smelling from a dog is just draws you closer, draws you in.
Yeah, but he's so sweet. He's so submissive. I don't go
Aw.
anywhere without him. He's just wants to be right next to me at all times, and
He's just saying hello.
yeah,
That's exactly. Well, that's good. I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad you have that baby. So that's cool. They're my heart. German Shepherds. This is German Shepherd Husky, but German Shepherds are my, just love it.
yeah, I love him.
Yeah. So what's the name again?
His name is Keo.
Kia. Okay.
Yeah, it means like dawn of a new day or a new chapter.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
yeah,
I missed it. How old did you say Kia was?
he's a little over a year,
Wow.
and he's ginormous. So I thought my previous German Shepherd Indy was big, but he's a lot bigger than her.
Mm.
What's he weigh?
I have not weighed him. I just know that he's like huge.
Big, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mine's
I
a
used
little
to have Roddy, so.
robust.
yours a
Mine's
little what?
111.
111.
111.
Oh wow, yeah, that's big. Indy
Yeah.
That's,
topped
God.
out. I think the most she weighed was 80.
Yeah.
But she stayed around like the 170, 175. She had a little chunky there for a minute, but we fixed that real quick. And then But yeah, he's like long and lean. And he's so tall. It's crazy. He's ginormous. I don't have to bend down at all to touch his face.
Aw, that's sweet. All right. Check on this. Okay. I don't fall off my chair. Okay. So, wow. So I guess I did a good job then, I guess, if it's all.
Yeah. It looks
think
it looks like stage,
Right.
or it almost even looks like a green screen behind you.
That's what I said.
Yeah. This is Mikasa. So yeah.
So James, I used to have a bunch of my posters from the films I did back here. Then I started to realize like a lot of my posters are dark, like dark. Not like dark content, although it is dark content, but just black. So I needed stuff to brighten it up. So I went with all my sports memorabilia, if you can see left and right.
Yeah, I'm trying to look.
Yeah, one little chair, director's chair, but the rest is sports memorabilia, a bunch all over. From my coaching days.
It looks
green.
cool.
What's the green?
Yeah.
What's the 11
Eagles,
from?
Philadelphia Eagles, since I'm from Philly originally. Got the helmet right there, Brian Dawkins, AJ Brown. And then of course,
we cannot be friends.
I know, right? That's a lot of people say that. Somebody, I can't remember who it was, convinced me to buy that wrestling belt that's an eagle on it. So this is 11.
Well, I'm a Cowboys fan, so it's fine. We stink this year.
It's in my family, so
yeah,
my mother
that's
and
awesome.
father-in-law are definitely fans.
You got a great team. I can't knock the team. I just hate them because of who I like.
Right? Yeah, I get that. Hey, they helped us out. Hey, they helped us out this weekend beating the Commanders. So good job, Cowboys.
Yeah, actually, my cousin surprised me with a ticket last weekend. It was his son's birthday, and he was like, "Hey, dude, my son wants you to come with us to the game." So we went and saw the Texans game at the stadium.
Yeah, I saw that on your Instagram.
And we got smacked. I was like, this game is so hard to watch. There was like no energy on the sideline. There was more Texans fans than Cowboys fans. On the Jumbotron, it kept saying like, get louder, and no one was saying a word. It was weird.
That's like asking an actor to bring the big at 3 a.m. in the morning after you've been shooting for 12 hours. Like,
right? Yeah. No.
All right, y'all. It's time to start. All right.
Let's roll.
All right, let's go. Okay, well, welcome to Austin Action Fest, where the action is. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to go ahead and let Danielle start off by introducing herself, and then we will introduce our guests after we all go.
All right. My name is Danielle Cavanis Weatherford, and I'm the creative director for the Austin Action Fest.
My name is Keisha CG, and I'm one of the coordinators for Austin Action Fest.
Hey everyone, Joe Barajas here. I am one of the hosts for Austin Action Fest and local director here in Austin.
All righty. Well, we have a special guest here. You action junkies, buckle up, because today we've got a guest who doesn't just tell stories. He creates worlds. James Drake Coleman is the ultimate triple threat and then some. A powerhouse actor, stunt fighter, visionary director, fearless producer, musician, and composer. He's the kind of artist who redefines what it means to be multifaceted. With his latest film, Isolation, James takes us on a sci-fi journey packed with thrills and introspection, proving once again that he's a master of both spectacle and substance. But his talents don't just stop there. As a creative force behind projects like Chronicles of a Broken Path, James has shown he's not afraid to push boundaries, crafting stories that resonate long after the credits roll. And when he's not behind the camera or in front of it, he's composing soundtracks that elevate the emotional pulse of his films. Today, we'll dive deep into what fuels his relentless creativity, how he's reshaping the indie film scene, and the action-packed road that brought him here. Ladies and gentlemen, action junkies, give a thunderous welcome to the one and only James Drake Coleman.
That was so nice.
That was awesome.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. We did an applause little thing there.
That's right.
So, James, yes, thank you for being here with us. We wanted to start off by having you talk a little bit about how you got into filmmaking.
Wow. I grew up in the theater scene. I did theater in church and school, and but I've always loved movies. So although I got like fulfillment from that, I never got maybe the most, I guess, is what I can say about that. I've always loved it, and I turned 22 and thought I was gonna go and just be a big time actor in California. So I went out there and I blew all my savings and spent about 4 months in LA and got absolutely nowhere. I didn't have professional headshots. I didn't have an established resume. I didn't have anything, just kind of myself and hopefully whatever charm I thought I had. And I got laughed out of all the studios and everything like that. And then finally somebody told me that I needed to have professional headshots. I needed to have a resume. And so I came back home and got to work. You can't just hop on a massive film either. You have to start kind of at the bottom and work your way to the top and start kind of developing networks and getting to know people. And so I started doing short films and student films and meeting people, and with each one kind of leveling up a little bit. And then in 2018, I still wasn't getting quite the roles that I wanted to get, and I was just tired of waiting. And so I started my own production company called Wild Canvas Media. And from there, we started doing a number of short films. We did one called Isolation, the 16-minute short film. And I always believed in that story and never gave up on it. And then we got some funding for it and just made a feature. So that's where I'm at.
I like how you ended that and just made a feature, because that's a big deal. That's like a really big deal. So we're gonna circle back to that in just a little bit. But thank you for sharing that. Was there, when you were getting into film, was there anyone that like inspired you, or any films that inspired you to go into that?
Any films that inspired me to want to be an actor?
Any person, or like any movies or shows or anything like that?
I think my favorite movie of all time is Back to the Future. So yeah, I just
right to my heart, my man. Right to my heart, right there.
It steals me away to this day every time it's on
Absolutely.
TV or what. I mean, I'm always watching it. It was beautiful for its time. It's beautiful today. It stands the test of time. I think it's still a great conversational piece. People like it, so we can talk about it and theorize about it and stuff like that. And it's really deep. And something I like about that film too that I'm not sure a lot of people know is just the more you watch it, the more you can kind of pick up on some of these clues. It was one of the first movies I've seen that had like Easter eggs, you know,
numerous Easter eggs, yes,
like really cool stuff that it put me in the mindset of the person who created it. I'm like, oh, it's more than just shooting a camera and acting. There is intricate writing involved, and there is an arc at the end that you have to think about at the beginning. You know what I mean? Like there's all these different nuances that come with that film that got me just hooked. And I always wanted to be Marty McFly. So I actually, my favorite car, if I got to have one, would be DeLorean. I wanted the 90s late, like no tie shoes. I got the vest too when I was younger, like that puffy vest. I wanted to be him. I thought he was so cool. He plays guitar, you know. I was like, man, that guy's awesome.
Yeah, I had to tell you, shameless plug, man. I made my kids be. One was Marty McFly, the oldest, and the youngest was Doc. This Halloween. So I got photos, and I'm fulfilled. I don't have to do anything else in life. I'm good.
It's so good, and all three are so good. Like I like all three of them. I could watch them in a row and spend an entire Sunday just watching 1, 2, 3, and feel so complete.
I feel you on that.
So is there anything in this film that is a nod to that?
To Back to the Future?
Mm-hmm.
I don't really. I didn't put any like Back to the Future Easter eggs in there. Back to the Future did like hook me into sci-fi though, and so if anything, you know, all my love for sci-fi came from that movie, and then from there you watch, you know, maybe the Alien movies after that, or Space Odyssey 20, you know, like all of those and stuff, and so you're like, wow, this genre is actually amazing, and the imaginations people have, and it's crazy what sci-fi does and how limitless it is, and I think that's why I like it. Like once you kind of dive into that, everything's on the table. You know what I mean? And I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, because the
No
possibilities
rules.
are just out there. Yeah, no rules. Exactly. Yeah. Very cool.
So whenever you're writing your own stories, is that pretty much the genre that you stick with, sci-fi, or do you go into any other genres as well?
I like all genres, and I'll write all genres. I grew up doing, like I said, theater, and I competed in improv, so I've got a really big comedic background. That's one thing I wish I did more of, was more comedies. But I tend to write dramatic pieces, I guess. So whether it's action or sci-fi, or even when I do my comedic pieces, there's always like some dramatic element that's in there, some heartfelt thing. I believe in writing based on what I know, and sadly, I know a lot of trauma and pain, and it seems to come out of my writing. It's very therapeutic for me, and it's a great outlet for me as a writer.
I have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, as someone who's like an actor and you're a composer as well, how do you juggle the different creative roles? Is there one that feeds the other, or do you compartmentalize while you're working on the project and then you step into the next piece of it?
Ooh, that's a good question. So I do. I've tried both. I've tried everything. A large reason of the beginning of Wild Canvas Media was just to create a bunch of content to try to figure out what type of storyteller I wanted to be, and I composed all of those short films. And so I have made short films where I composed first, and then wrote after that. Tar was a really fun experimental short film that I did. It's like 36 minutes short film, but that was one where I wanted the story to influence the music, but then pause and have the music influence the rest of the story. So that one I kind of wove together in a really cool way.
Yeah.
I really like that film as well. For Isolation, I knew exactly what I wanted in the edit without actually messing with the music. If
Okay.
that makes sense. I could almost
Yeah.
hear it while I was editing. And so the editing process was fairly fast, and the composing portion of it was also fairly fast. I just knew exactly what I wanted. I knew the edit that I wanted, and I knew the music that I wanted, and so there wasn't a lot of trial and error, I guess. Um,
Is the
I don't know.
music ever is the music ever a character?
It's always a character.
Is it? Okay.
It's always a character.
All right.
That's how, at least that's how I approach it. I think
Yeah.
I think a film should survive on its own, and allow the music to just elevate that. If you're hoping that the music covers up some things or makes a poor performance better or a poor edit better, I don't necessarily subscribe to that. I think the edit and the film and the movie, the scenes, the acting, they should survive on their own, and then that way the score just elevates all that stuff, and now you're in the stratosphere and you're floating with angels.
Very cool.
So, and we're going to show the trailer for Isolation in just a second, but it kind of made me think of something. So, as you're writing the script, you're also writing the music at the same time, because you compose for this too, right?
Yes, ma'am. For Isolation, I wrote the movie first, and then I composed in my head during the edit, and then actually composed on the piano and everything after it was done, like once it was picture locked.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and show the trailer so everybody can check out Isolation and see what it is that we're talking about. So I'm going to pull that up for us.
On us. The situation as a whole was created to regulate the order of the world. That's priority 1 according to the United Nations. Priority 2, that's realize the secrecy.
Any attempt to flee will result in your being declared a fugitive of Earth. You will be hunted down and executed upon capture. Do you understand?
We'll be dropping here, just west of the Taedong River, and we'll need to hike 20 kilometers to reach the target.
You want me to bring back a severed head? Or what?
Nice.
When you see yourself, you're a method actor, correct?
As much as I can be. I'm in the indie space, so you really can't go full method like that. But as much as I can be, sure.
So I guess my question is, when you're directing and you're acting in this, and when you see your work, a lot of actors don't like to see their work. I'm somebody, I love to see my work. I don't care. So, because I mean, I put all the effort into it. And I want to see myself and I want to see what I did. But I want to know if you get into the emotion as a viewer. Do you put yourself into the seat of a viewer, the audience member, and actually partake in the emotion and everything that the work you put into what you did?
Man, I wish I did. Maybe a little bit more. I think because I direct myself, I pretty much just look at it like from the director's standpoint. So there are moments where you kind of get lost in the scene and things like that. But I almost always revert back to, the director and me. We should have moved an inch that way, or I wish my eye line was somewhere else. Those kind of like tiny things or whatever. But yeah, as an actor, I like to watch myself just because I do have that kind of director's mind. And just to make sure that I don't know, I'm landing where I want to land. I feel the things that, my character is expressing, and I'm hoping that I'm expressing it so that the viewer can see that as well.
Okay.
Do you feel like when you're looking at what you're doing, are you pretty critical of yourself, or do you feel like you give yourself some grace?
Both maybe. The critical part only comes from wanting to be better, just wanting to grow as an actor, and there's plenty of room for me to do that. I by no means think I'm some hot shot actor or anything like that. I just want to be better all the time, and I think the constant state of wanting to grow is important for me, and never feeling like content, I guess, in a healthy way.
Okay.
I'd like to know a lot, actually, but then we're going to be here all night. But I respect that, as a director myself who also acts, like, I totally understand what you're saying, James. I have this appetite that's never fed properly. It probably maybe even unhealthy, just because I beat myself up. So I get what you're saying, and I commend everything you just said. But in seeing the trailer, all I could see was the different changes in your body, right? The different changes in your hair and what was going on. And the first thing that pops into my head was, how long did this take, right? How long did you shoot this? Was it a seamless thing? Was it a couple of weeks back, together, back to back? That's my question for you.
So the second I got the green light, I knew I needed to kind of grow my hair out and grow my beard out. And actually in that trailer, I don't show the final third of the movie where my hair is longer and my beard is longer. And so I just I lost as much weight as I possibly could, I think I had about 3.5, 4 months to do it. Stopped cutting my hair, stopped trimming my fingernails, wasn't plucking my eyebrows. I was looking crazy because I still got to go to the store and pick up stuff, and people are wondering if I'm okay. You know, I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. My fingernails are all long because I just wanted every part of that to feel authentic. You know, and then it took some pretty intricate planning, just because we shot the entire thing in reverse. So the start of the movie, I've got a shaved head and clean shaven face. At the end of the movie, I've got this like longer beard and longer hair. And so we shot everything backwards. So it was a matter of the planning had to be executed in such a way that you can't mess it up. Just because if I cut my hair, all those scenes now are like we had to make sure we got the shots. There's I'm not going to spoil it, but there's a moment at the very, very end where two of the characters communicate with each other. And so like that had to be perfect. Shooting, with the longer hair and with the shaved head, and just to make sure that lined up. And so like there was like a little bit of anxiety just to make sure that a lot of these, and I do a lot of match cuts. I planned out a ton of match cuts. And so there's a little bit of anxiety just before I got to the edit to make sure a lot of these things lined up. But I was so happy that we put the work in and, storyboarded and screenshot, these specific moments just so we can match it. And I'm really happy with the end result. But yeah, and then we filmed about 16 total days.
Nice.
So
Wow.
yeah, it was pretty fast. We had a COVID scare there on our way out to the sand dunes. And so I lost the deposit on an Airbnb and stuff like that. So that kind of sucks. But so we had to reschedule that one. But 16 total days of shooting. And then we also took a small break in the middle of it I needed to put on more weight. I wasn't putting on enough weight. And then also build the spaceship. So I think there's about 2.5 weeks right in the middle of shooting of building the spaceship, eating, and then the COVID scare, which pushed it back another week there. But 16 total like production days.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Your mom said that you did look crazy, just to let you know.
I got to BTS and I'm like, I don't even recognize myself. It's crazy. Yeah, it's weird. It was weird editing. Be like, I don't know who that guy is.
Wow.
Did it take a toll on you physically? Like as you lost that weight, were you hurting in any way? Any type of nourishment issues?
I was just hungry. So the fastest way to lose weight is to stop eating altogether. And I remember I was on during the weight loss process, I was on another shoot and I was DP for them, and they were eating pizza and Crafty was banging, and I was like, oh my gosh, I would literally just take up a few pepperonis off the pizza just so I could taste it. Nice. But yeah, that was pretty miserable. I think the biggest thing though was we got the green light right as I was going through my divorce, I guess. And so what was really hard was trying to tell people that I was doing okay, just because they knew my personal side and I was looking crazy. So they're like, James is giving up. I'm worried about him. I'm like, yeah. So that was tough, and it was weird to kind of go through that, and then every day look in the mirror and slowly stop recognizing yourself. So emotionally, personally, that did its own thing. But once I was able to cut my hair, cut my fingernails, shave my face, see myself, like eat food, get some of the color back in my skin, I started feeling okay just personally. But for the shots, it was great. So
wow. This film has a lot of you to it and in it. So I wanted to ask you, when you were writing Isolation, if you can tell us, without giving away like spoilers for the film or whatever, like what the story kind of meant to you behind it.
Like I said, I was when we got greenlit, I was going through a divorce, and so I found out kind of during the pre-production process and even the production process of how much of my maybe some deeper feelings that I was feeling. And I like I said, I write how I feel, and I feel like that's how you make good pieces of work. Yeah, I was feeling just very alone. In my personal life, I didn't know or really have people that I could talk with that would understand, or I felt like would understand me. And then I wrote a movie that's based on a guy who's stuck by himself, and kind of the psychological stuff that he was going through, and some stuff that I was feeling. And it's about being alone and trying to do your best while you're not okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So this story means a lot to you, and I know y'all already shot everything, and it's already edited through post-production. Can you tell us where Isolation is right now?
Right now, it is on Vimeo. It is a private link. You cannot watch it because I have started the submission process for the festival circuit.
Nice.
I'm really excited. We have about 25 that we feel really good about. I've submitted to 6 already. It's very expensive, so as I work and make money, I can just submit as the deadlines happen. But right now, yeah, it's done, and I've released it, and released it from my controlling hands and editing fingers. But so it's just waiting for the festivals to accept it, and I cross my fingers and pray about that every day.
Yeah,
we'll cross our fingers with you. We'll just do
Thank
it.
you.
Okay.
So
You're welcome.
it is on the festival circuit, and if people still want to get connected to this project, I know you have an Indiegogo right now. So can you talk about what that is and how they can still get connected to Isolation?
Yes, ma'am. So originally I had another investor who was going to give us an additional $5,000, and that would have been wonderful. But that investor had to pull out for whatever reason, and which was still okay because I had kind of laid aside some funds for the festivals. They're expensive, each one is $80 to $120 each, and like I said, we hope to submit to 25, and so it's an expensive process, and so I laid some funds out for the festivals, and everything was going to be great. And then my dog got sick with lymphoma cancer, and she was really young, and the veterinarians, they said that she had a good chance to respond well to the chemotherapy and all of that. So I ended up allocating those funds for my dog. I felt like that was right, and I still feel convicted that was right. I gave her a chance, and she did respond really well at first, but then the lymphoma got into her nervous system, and then ultimately her brain, and that was just kind of it. But the chemotherapy is also very, very expensive. Mm-hmm. So we have started a Indiegogo campaign to help us with our festival submissions. Every dollar goes towards festival submissions. We're hoping to raise $5,000. I think last time I checked, we're at 2, and we have like a week left to go.
Nice.
All right. Action family out there needs to step up.
That's right.
Help our indie buddy here. That's what we do. Let's
get the action going in the festival to get this into festivals. I did have a few more questions actually, regarding, what's going on here. So I want to ask where the idea came from, but I feel like that might be too telling. But like, can you I know you kind of talked about where you were in your mental headspace and going through, and I don't want you to have to keep revisiting that, but like, if it is about how you feel in that moment, right? Yeah. How are you feeling now? Because then I'm going to get an idea on what the next film is for you. Like, where's your headspace now? I'm trying to get us all a jump on the next one here.
That's pretty funny. No, please ask questions. I've spoken with the professionals and stuff, and I've done some therapy and things like that. So like I'm good. I'm feeling great. I'm healthy and happy, and always just trying to continue to grow and learn. In terms of where I'm at, I am almost finished writing the sequel. The sequel's treatment is basically done. I'm just kind of going in. I had some really wonderful ideas that I'd like to incorporate into that script. Working on the pitch deck for that as well, because when we go to the festivals, and the idea of getting into festivals is to pitch it to distribution and getting in front of Netflix executives and Amazon Prime and Hulu, or all these streaming services and stuff like that. And so part of selling Isolation is also pitching the sequel. I won't give any spoilers away, but the sequel is really, really fantastic. And what you don't know, and something maybe to tie back into Back to the Future and the Easter eggs and stuff like that, there are a ton that the audience is unaware of unless they watch movie number 2. And so I purposefully wrote it in that way, just because I have like a vision for where I want it to go. So there's a ton of small moments there. There are hidden things. If you'd have to turn it up really loud to listen. A lot of audio cues and things like that. It just makes me really excited about the sequel, and it makes me really excited for people to, when that time comes, watch it and be like, oh, that's what that was, or
Right.
they'll go back and rewatch Isolation and see all these little clues and things leading up to it. The second movie is upon selling Isolation and the sequel, we're hoping that we quadruple our budget or whatever it is, just because it's bigger. There's a lot more involved, a lot more action, a lot more. I can't spoil anything.
It's hard.
Don't
I
spoil
know.
it. Keep it there.
There's a lot more. There's so much more, and so I think the first one was really great for the budget that we had, and we it was a skeleton crew. There was 4 of us on every day, so there was no grip trucks and things like that. And so I'm actually very proud of that. But the second movie will require quite a bit more hands, and I can't wait. That some of the people I've kind of talked with, I've told them some of the things about Desolation, which is the sequel's title, has got them jazzed up. So I'm just, I can't give anything away until everyone can see Isolation, and then once Isolation's out there for the world, it's like, oh, now we can talk about my plans for the sequel. But it's bigger. It's bigger and badder, dude. I'm really excited about it.
Dang, I was listening so closely. I was waiting on you to slip up, but you didn't. I was waiting.
Is there a third one? Is there? Do you have it in your head? I'm just throwing it out there.
I kind of bookended the second one with a third one, and that's just going to come down to the deals, right? The deals that we make with distribution and things like that. Like, I have a 3-movie arc that I would love to have, and movie number 3 is far bigger and far better. Definitely a lot more sci-fi with number 3, but if I only get the budget for 2, then I have an ending for it, if that makes sense. So I've got 3 in the chamber, and so hopefully, like, my pitch with these, and it might be, I read it could be as simple as like, we'll see how number 2 goes before we do 3, kind of thing. And so, like, we'll just have to play that by ear. But I do have a third in mind, and the third it's a trilogy, so 3 and done. There's no 4 or anything like that. But what's great about it, and what I love, is I got a lot of feedback about how much canon is possible with Isolation, and how much side stories there could be, and
there's tons of side stories there,
spin-offs and things like that. So that's also really exciting. So hopefully there's a whole universe here that I wasn't aware of. I was like, I just wrote about a guy that's by himself. Like, no, there's a whole world out there.
That's how George Lucas started.
It's cool.
He didn't have all that going. Everyone else kind of made the other stuff from his ideas. So hey, that's good. That's good stuff.
So while you were filming, what was a surprise that you didn't? You're out in the sand dunes. First of all, you're finding out there's sand dunes in Texas. And so when you're out there, I know in Iraq they have the big crab spiders, that are crazy, or other spiders that are crabs. I forget which way it is, but they're obnoxiously big. Is there any? Well, I know that's not what's happening out there, but was there any type of surprises that you came across in your different places?
You know what? I feel very blessed. The surprises that we got were all on our side. They were all like really pleasant surprises. Yeah, there's the first day we're shooting kind of the military stuff, and they're in the briefing room, and I'm on my way to set, and as I'm driving in, there's maybe a minute away from set, there's this massive train with all of these army trucks and military vehicles like on the train. The train's not moving, and I remember getting there and grabbed my DP and being like, "Dude, we gotta go shoot this thing." And the second we get back there, the train starts moving, and we're able to capture it. And there's just like things like that. There's a moment. I remember we're filming this scene in the woods, and I'm supposed to hear a noise, and I turn around with my gun to aim my gun to find out what the noise is. And I remember I'm shooting the scene, and I get done, I turn around, and then it's a cut, and I go, "Oh, that's how was that?" And everyone's face was like, and I was like, "What's up? Did I do a bad job? What's it?" And they're like, "Dude, the second you turn around, all these tree spiders jumped behind you and left like all these webs like behind my head and stuff." And I was like, "That's crazy." So like a lot of these really cool,
That's sweet,
little moments that you can't plan that just add this really cool production value thing. And the movie's told through like web weaving, and so like there's I don't know, I found symbolism and imagery in there, and I was like, that's so awesome. So there wasn't any like negative surprises really. Everybody was wonderful and great. The cast and crew was so great. Nobody bailed last minute or anything like that, outside of that one COVID scare, which actually I think just allowed us a little more time to get more prepared for the sand dune stuff. Like that was pretty action intensive, and fighting on the sand is not easy, but I knew that going ahead. I was like, it's not going to be the same as rehearsals on the mats. You're in the sand and you're in the sun, and but yeah, so everything was just so great. And it's not always going to be like that. There's what I mean? I'm very blessed that the surprises were really pleasant.
Man, that spider thing, I would have been gone. So
I had no idea. I was like, you guys let me turn around and walk into that
thing. Oh yeah, face first.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
Kind of off the topic of your film, what out of all the artistic nature you have in you, music, directing, acting, probably dancing, composing, I'm sure there's more that we're missing, but like what is, even writing it, because you're talking about the writing of it, like what is your favorite, what is the most fulfilling for you? I mean, I know they all do it, right? Otherwise you wouldn't, but like surely one stands just slightly above the others. I'd be curious which one that is.
If I had to pick one, it would be acting. I that's been my passion since I was a kid. I love figuring out the headspace of another person and doing my best to become them. You dress like them. Do they limp when they walk? Do they have a stutter? Do they have an accent? How do they style their hair? All these different things. And one of my favorite things about film is watching one actor do so many things. Evan Peters comes to mind, and like how, man, that guy could be anybody, and I love it, and at a high level. Like everything he does is so great, and he's got such a range of what he can do. Leo DiCaprio is another guy that you've seen be different people, and whenever I'm able to watch a movie and I'm lost in, I don't see Evan Peters anymore. I only see Jeffrey Dahmer, for example, which is
right.
That was a super dark show, but you feel like you're watching somebody else. You know what I mean? And I don't know, man. There's a beauty in that I think
huge beauty. Yeah.
I love the most. If I had to pick one, luckily and hopefully I don't have to just pick one, but if I had to pick one, it would be acting for sure.
Wow. Yeah, that's a great answer.
I'm surprised to hear you say that over music. Even you would say acting.
Music for me, I love music, and I went to school for music. Music for me is my personal therapy. I know it, like writing is, but film writing is like for other people. It's for an audience. It's to be shared. A lot of my music, and I can't even tell you tracks and tracks and tracks of stuff that are fully recorded, ready to go, that are just sitting on my computer, just because I was like, I need a week-long therapy session, and then I'll just crank out a bunch of music. So music for me has never been necessarily for anybody else.
Yeah.
And so even when I compose on somebody else's project or isolation, it's coming from a place of like it's for me, if that makes sense. And I'm not sure if that's right, if that's correct, but that's just how I approach music. And so I can always do music, but I can do it in the safety of my room and feel fulfilled with that. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Understandable. Yeah. All right. Well, did we have any other questions we wanted to ask James before we get to our last question?
You're on mute over there, Rock.
Yeah, I know I was on mute. My dog was talking to me. She was literally talking to me. So anyway, I was going to say that I do the same thing because most people don't know that I write music, and I write rap. I write all types of music, and I rap. A lot of people don't know that either.
That I want to hear. That I have to hear.
Yeah. So I have a whole bunch of different things, but it's my therapy. For me, it's like my praying to God. It's all types of things for me. So I'm yelling at people, yelling at my kids, yelling at my husband. So yeah, all types of stuff. Yeah. So I see.
I love hearing that. I love hearing you both talk about that. I think it's very healthy to have a way to be able to therapize your own self, right? Or oneself. Oh, look at this. Oh, I like it. We got two James. You couldn't have one.
Sorry, I don't have, like, all of a sudden my screen, it went away. I was like, I have battery, I have Wi-Fi.
She introduced you as a triple threat. We just need two more. Here we go. But no, I think it's good. I think it's healthy that you guys can actually say that. A lot of people need to hear that. I think you can find mediums that satisfy yourself. So I appreciate you both sharing that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Can I ask one more question too?
Like acting, if I act alone in my room, that might just be kind of strange.
Yeah.
I can direct my dog maybe, or like you can't do VFX like by yourself. Like that's, I don't know. Like music for me is the one thing that's like I can do it and feel good about it, and then also keep it if I want.
Yeah.
And speaking of music, I'm sorry. Go
ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna bring you back to another one of your questions about the surprises. There was I had one track that I wasn't sold on. I like it. It's still really good. I just it didn't do quite what I wanted it to do, and it was my end credits song.
Oh, that's I love that.
And I was like, it's cool. Like it sounds cool. I mean, people are just going to be watching credits. That's fine. But I wanted people to be able to digest as well, even throughout the credits. I'm big on credits. I want everybody to get their credit. That's the one place in the movie that's yours, like that space. And so I'm pretty big on that. And so I just wanted people to be able to eat still, even while the credits are going. And I have an extremely talented cousin. He lives in Arizona, and he's also a music producer and artist. And his name is Jordan Lafayette Coleman. Look him up. He's on all this stuff. But he is so fantastic, and he mastered my scores for me for Isolation as well. And I remember not feeling like that great about this one track. I made 20 total, and this one just wasn't doing what I wanted to do. And so I called him, and I was like, hey, dude, by chance, I know it's last minute. Do you have anything? He had not seen the movie, so I just kind of gave him the rundown of what it was about and what it meant. And he was like, I've got this one song called One. And he had recorded it, was completely finished like 4 years before, like 4 years ago. And was like, it's just been sitting there because it hasn't been right for any of the projects that he's put out. And I was like, well, can I take a listen? Like, I'm not going to force it if it doesn't work, right? But can I hear it? And I can't even tell you how perfect it was for Isolation. The lyrics were perfect. The style was perfect. Everything was so perfect. And again, just another one of those like super blessed.
Oh. Is it us?
Oh no.
That's okay.
Here it comes. Leave us hanging. That's that climactic moment right there.
He may have to shut himself off and come back in. like I did before. Yeah, he's really he's really talented. That song is beautiful. So when he talks about it, it's really really cool. Yeah, it's very very good.
I want to hear what else he has to say about how it all came together.
Yeah. I'd like to
And it's
know.
funny.
Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I was just gonna say it's funny to hear him say he wasn't completely sold on it. Right?
Yeah, well, I can get that because I mean you're looking for that feeling, that thing, whatever moves you and moves the audience at the same time. So I know I'm critical when it comes to what I'm laying under, whatever I'm doing. I have to feel it. If I
Here
don't
he
feel
comes.
it don't go. It's just spilling around and around.
So sorry. All right, I'm now
okay.
off the Wi-Fi. No more Wi-Fi.
No more Wi-Fi. That's okay.
Yeah, so it was so great, and I can't wait for people to hear that song and release that on the soundtrack. He did such a great job with it, and it was just so perfect. And yeah, so music for him of something that he felt was going through that he just shelved because it wasn't right for any audience but himself, and it just so happened it was perfect for me. And yeah, so it all ties together. Hopefully, you guys, that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's a great
That's
song.
awesome.
So where's that going to be in the sphere of things? Is it a separate release? Or are you still going to keep it with everything else and then release it later?
So for that one song, you mean?
Yeah.
For the yeah, so we'll put it with the soundtrack, but it will also release as a single. So we'll do both things,
nice.
and hopefully we'll do maybe a music video with like clips from isolation and stuff like that. Yeah.
A music video.
That's very good. Very smart.
Yeah. I dug it. I think I told you because I was like, it has something about it, and I think you should put that out there.
Yeah, it's a banger. It's so good on its own. I was like, I can't believe you just been hanging on to this great piece of work this whole time.
Yeah.
You're crazy, dude.
Yeah. No, but it has traction because of what you're going to be doing. So that's a great thing to have additional marketing behind it. So yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and I've got a business brain, and so I'm like, here's the next step and the next step and the next one, just so that we don't lose the momentum of the movie and we keep everything relevant. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Very smart.
Well, rock and roll.
All right. Well, if none of you have any more questions, James, was there anything else you wanted to say before we ask you our last question?
No, I feel like I've talked enough.
So this is the Austin Action Fest podcast. And so we do talk about action a lot, and Isolation has a lot of action in it, right? But we were wondering if you could recast yourself or redirect or rewrite any show or any movie that had action in it, what would it be? And would it be acting? Would you be rewriting it? Would you be directing it? It's all up to you. Uh-oh, I think you froze again.
I think he's contemplating in freezing motion.
Oh, well, he's thinking so hard.
Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you. Yeah, I can see you.
Oh, so sorry. That's so crazy. Dang. Any action movie or show? Well, I loved Game of Thrones up until the final season. I'm one of those guys. If I could rewrite and direct, it would be that freaking show. Just the last season though, because I feel personally attacked by what they've done.
Yeah.
I have there are so many people that are right there with you. I just have a feeling.
Great to act in that too. I don't know, something about like.
Uh-oh. Oh.
Yeah, we got a little delay there.
That was a really good shot, though.
That was good slow-mo.
Just the way it's smooth. It was really smooth. It's almost a meme type of situation.
It was
happening there. Yeah.
In his hair.
It was cool.
Just kind of.
Oh yeah, it was all flowing. It was flowing.
That's good. That's great.
Wow. Okay, well, let me see if he pops back in. And if not, we'll go
Yeah.
ahead and wrap everything up. Let's give him a couple seconds here to see. I know he probably wants to say some lasting things. And we are going to be putting the link to that Indiegogo campaign on the Austin Action Fest page. So you can go check it out, see the trailer again if you want to watch it, and be a part of his campaign. I'm not seeing him. I don't see anything. All right. Well, all right.
That's okay. Well, we'll just encourage people to go and support his Indiegogo campaign. And
That's
anybody
it.
that's our friends and our family in the indie world, that's our action buddies. Please support each other.
Yeah.
And thanks, Miss Coleman, for hanging out with us tonight. Anyway.
All right.
All right.
So this is the Austin Action Fest podcast, where the action is.
Peace.